keep on going then. All right. Now, this is, as I call the session 21 extra. This is where I can ask you some kind of different questions so we can have discussion. We're just going to do about 15 minutes. You've given me
Sure.
so much of your time for this, and I really hope you've had a good experience with this. What do you think so far?
This has been great, and I must say to you, I have been up since 4 because I'm on Irish time right now. So it has been
Ooh.
a really long day, and I was worried about my energy
Oh,
before coming here.
dude, it's
But
there.
I mean, it's been great. So one granola bar has done a fantastic job for me, but also this has been so great. Thank you so much. I
Good.
really appreciate the opportunity.
Well, whenever you on the international website when I was reaching out trying to find different people, I so appreciated your energy, even in the message saying, I gotta do this, I gotta do this. And I was thrilled to hear from you to make sure that we were all good. And I was afraid like, oh, I hope it didn't cancel. I'm like, oh, he's really got some good stuff. I'm looking forward to this. Oh, and
Thank
even
you.
more honestly, but because as I progressed through the organization, I've been a Toastmaster for about 12 years now. I see so many things. Like you're talking about the the acting out of the stories and things like that. I did that with my kids, and and they're all grown now. My oldest is 30, my youngest is 21, and I made up stories like that, very, very similar to table topics. And I mean, and I had no idea, from the beginning until you said that you were an only child, and that had to be an amazing childhood. Whether your parents were so creative, and even from the military standpoint, because I'm a retiree myself, I cannot imagine the richness that you had in your life and how it's come out. I mean, can you elaborate some things like that? But because I mean, the foundation that your mom especially made for you on the creative side, it has got to be just an amazing thing to frame, you know.
I was very, very fortunate. I also had 4 incredible grandparents, and that also makes a lot of difference.
Oh yeah.
And I was never spoiled, but I never wanted for anything. Almost all of my friends came from families where there were multiple children.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
one of the amazing experiences of being an army brat, as we were called at that point
Hmm.
in time,
Hmm.
was that most of my friends were Quebecois, meaning they were from the province of Quebec and their first language was French.
French. Yep.
And you find a way to work together. And we're taught French at that, in those schools at that point in time. So also you play with kids. And I went to one of my friends that they had 3 kids. I went to their house one day and I was in awe because the Boudreau family spoke franglais, which is similar to Spanglish in that it
Oh,
is
really?
bits of French and bits of English.
Oh,
And honestly,
wow.
I loved it.
I've
And
never heard of that. That's
I,
crazy.
right? But I just remember stopping and going, wow, like this is the coolest thing ever.
It had to blow your mind. It really had
It
to.
really did. And, if you're going to, even as a kid, find a way to play with other kids, you got to find a way to be able to communicate.
Hmm. Hmm.
So we knew some French, they knew some English. You would never know that it was any different. And it was an incredible way to be
Yeah.
able to grow up.
Yeah.
Mhm.
No, and my children or my girls, I have 2 girls, 2 boys. My girls, whenever I was on active duty up in Chicago, we found a Montessori school. Have you ever heard of that program
Yes,
before? Oh my gosh.
yes.
It was an international group of kids, and it was the most amazing experience that my girls had that covered like preschool, right into kindergarten and right at the end. So it was a fantastic, probably about 2-ish, nearly 3 years, and it gave them so many skills. We were with Hindis, Pakistanis, Koreans, Chinese, Japanese. It was absolutely amazing. We went to birthday parties and things like that. Got to have such an amazing cultural experience herself. And I mean, I had already been in the military for a while, but I had never seen anything like this. And for them to have that, I mean, they don't talk about some of those things. You know, they may not remember some of those, but I knew what it gave them. And unfortunately, my boys, you know, whenever we transitioned to another assignment, we didn't have the same kind of environment to have something like that, and my boys kind of missed out, which is sad.
Okay.
But yeah, but I can, you know, that kind of environment for a growing mind. Oh my gosh, it's like all the little educational toys that you have. You know, you can have junk, but if you have educational stuff, you're listening to the sounds, you're pulling things apart, you're stacking things up. All these things that is part of Montessori education. I cannot imagine that how your mind was blown going into this. What did you call it? Fro
Franglais.
Frunglade.
Franglais.
That's
Yes.
that
Yes.
right there. That is a great word of the day right there for your next Toastmaster meeting. You
There you
need to do
go.
that. But no, I mean you talk about table topics. Table topics at a moment. I came in Toastmasters after a divorce, and I needed a new creative outlet. I hadn't been a speaker uh, like this. I've taught, but you know, similar to you, I found table topics and I said I've got to do this. This is fun. My creative juices are kind of flowing. I'm having a good time with this. And if this is a group of people that I like to be around here 12 years later, about to get my DTM, it's just, you know, it's been a great ride and meeting people like you through this process and other things and being part of an international Toastmaster community. That's an amazing thing too. I'm still trying to wrap my head around that. You know, you're in Canada, I'm down here in the U.S. and everything. We're talking in a way that we never could have had before, and it's just a phenomenal experience. It really, really is.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And there is just so many aspects that are enticing and keep
Hmm.
me
Yeah,
engaged.
yeah.
You know, I've just been elected to president of the Bay Street Breakfast Club. And
Congratulations.
this morning, thank you. And this morning we had our very first meeting as an executive. And so many people had so many different priorities that we still have to be able
Hmm.
to work that
Hmm.
out.
Yep.
But I am of the mind that, you know, any club can be successful as long as they keep their membership engaged. But what does that mean?
Right.
Right?
Right.
We have some
Right.
people that have been around for 30 years. How do you keep that person engaged? What
Yep.
about the student
Right.
who is feeling the pressure of all of the deadlines and everything? How
Right.
do you keep that person engaged?
Yep.
But there's
Yep.
such a great payoff, and it
Right.
depends on what it is that you're looking for from
Oh yeah.
Toastmasters.
Exactly.
We have up here created by one of our members as part of his DTM project, what's called Stage Time. And this is where we put people on the circuit, if you will, and
Hmm.
they are loaned out to different clubs, either as a
Oh,
speaker or
really?
other roles.
Oh,
So
wow.
I have had in my first year with Toastmasters, I was able to speak virtually in Idaho, Oregon, Washington, California. Some of those were very late nights indeed.
Hmm.
Also in Quebec and throughout Ontario, but also to go and visit some clubs in person to be a guest
That's
speaker.
cool.
And it was such an amazing
Okay,
experience. And the
we're gonna
payoff
have to
for
get
me,
connected on this because I'd like to do this. That would be very
absolutely.
cool. Yeah.
And this also, you know, I wasn't aware because again, I was a newbie.
Mhm.
I was able to earn a triple crown in my first year. I didn't even know
Nice.
what it was. I had no idea that
That
it
same here. It happened to
existed.
me too.
And it was because it was just so much. But at the same time, there is a cautionary tale with Toastmasters, and that
Hmm.
is that it can be all consuming. And
Uh,
I had 1 week in December, not this past December, the December before, where within a period of 4 days, I wrote and delivered three new speeches. I completed a level in 4 days.
that's
I choose
tough.
not to do that again because it's a
That's
lot.
hard.
I
Yeah.
loved it. I loved the
Yeah.
challenge,
Yeah.
but it is a lot.
And burnout
So
is so easy to get to with this. It's crazy. I've done it
mhm,
twice, you know, and It's yeah, like you said, it's not something you suggest. When you're finished with it, your mind is exploding. You got through all this, but then all of a sudden you're just like, "Oh, I'll never do that again." I mean, no, 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 no. Well, I mean, I just finished up 3 years of consecutive division, or not division, but district leadership. I went from area director, and then I was a division director twice, and um, I did it because I saw the need. There were some people who were hesitant, and I had already gotten my credit for DTM anyway. But at the higher leadership, I wanted to do more than just at the club. And it's interesting. You talk about the different languages and what have you. I'm shocked at the level of engagement with different clubs and what they think is important. And I've had it's been frustrating. I've coached a lot of people. I've been trying to build them up, but I tell you what, I'm this right here. This engagement room podcast is, connecting with people like you, getting involved with different parts of the organization above the club level is such a blessing. It really, really is. I mean, and I'm not going to do my best. I'm really going to not try to burn out again, because that's burnout is exhausting. It is. You
Right.
know it. I mean, my gosh, how many days on stage have you had consecutive like going, okay, let's do this. Yeah.
Right. Even
Yeah.
in your 20s, that can
Oh
certainly
yeah.
happen.
I couldn't
I
imagine that pace. That's crazy.
Absolutely. I did have another rewarding experience in the last 6 months or so, and that was to be asked to be what is it? So a test speaker for the
Oh,
evaluation
nice. Oh,
contests.
awesome. Yeah.
And I got to tell, as somebody who loves feedback and values the feedback and
Hmm.
uses
Hmm.
the feedback
Hmm.
in order to try to be a better speaker, this was amazing
Oh
to
yeah.
be able to do that. So I did that 5 times,
Oh
and
wow.
it was the same speech 4 times, but I kept having to look at the list to go, okay, who has heard this of the
Hmm.
competitors? And then I went to my final one, and there were like 4 people I think that had heard the previous speech, so they knew
Hmm.
that I wouldn't be the
Right.
speaker.
Right.
And of course, you're not allowed to say that you're the test speaker anyway. And I just said, I'm here as a guest,
Yep.
which was, and there were 40 people in the room. And when it was announced, and we have our test speaker, McKell Nielson, I kid you not, half the room went, oh, right? Because it's not a bad reputation to have
Yeah. Yeah.
that a lot of the points that people would normally be able to provide feedback are already taken care
Yeah.
of.
Yeah.
That's in no way saying that I'm perfect by any means, because I still have
Right.
to develop a lot as well. But then I gave a new speech, and
With a
it
monkey
was
wrench in there.
received. I did.
Yeah.
And for the very first time, and this was not me trying to manipulate people, there were people that had tears. And I was, as I'm speaking, experiencing their reaction going, whoa, I didn't understand that something that I had said had
Yeah.
triggered something. And I
Yeah.
wasn't trying to manipulate it, but for me, what an incredible experience that
That's a moment.
I
That's a
did
huge moment.
something that
Yeah.
somebody went,
Yeah.
whoa.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, but you don't want to play with people's emotions. It was just
No.
that was a great
No.
response to have.
Well, but that's one of the, I mean, you can call it power. You can call it influence. There's a lot of things that we do inside the organization and as speakers and as coaches and what have you. You cannot, you can never ever discount that experience. I mean, I'm sure from what, just from how you just told me that's going to be a high point in your life where you saw impact. I mean, like, when you see tears, when you see people have whether it's a positive or negative visceral response. I mean, that's that's telling whenever you see the power of your words or the influence that you have in a moment. That's just, I mean, that's like an Elvis moment or something, or Billy Graham moment or something. It's
Right?
crazy.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's one of those things that you also go, okay, that happened. I was part of that.
Hmm.
I also just want to be able to ensure that I'm using that in the right way, if that makes sense, right? Because
Yes.
it was
Yes.
not in
Yes.
any way intentional. I certainly wanted
Right.
people to feel, but not that. And the other thing is, as we all know, when it comes to our audience, we don't know everything about them. And
Right.
sometimes things that we say may go deeper than we necessarily intended.
We meet
So,
them at the moment. At the moment that we're
right?
doing it, we are meeting them where they are at that time. Yes. Yes.
100%.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So this is always just something that I really enjoy though. I mean, it was a great experience to be the test speaker.
Yeah.
And then I also competed. I did, fairly well. A lot to certainly learn
Hmm.
as we go forward. And one of the lessons as well, and this came from a question that was earlier, but I didn't want to, specifically talk
Hmm.
about
Hmm.
that is when it comes to competitions and being judged and knowing how one has done and you're feeling confident, again, not arrogant, but confident, and not winning. It's
Yeah.
how you
Yeah.
conduct yourself. And that's
Yeah.
hard.
Oh
It
yeah.
is hard to be
Oh yeah.
told you're second best. That's hard.
Oh yeah.
And but also, we all have to realize that judges are people and they are going to see
Hmm.
things in a
Hmm.
different way.
Hmm.
I can't do anything about that except do my very best. And if I've
Yep.
done my very best, that's the success. Would I like
Yes.
to be on the stage in Paris next year? You betcha, right? But
Because
but
be
I also
sweet.
know
Yeah.
that I
That'd be
also
sweet.
know that it takes a lot, and
Right.
I'm really impressed with people on their journey there. Um, there is one question that maybe I would have for you,
Hmm.
and that is my only criticism of Toastmasters so
Yes.
far that I have experienced, and that is as positive and animated that I can be. I sometimes cringe when I see how over the top and animated some speakers can be, and that they are rewarded and lauded for that,
Hmm.
where it becomes more
Right.
of a performance than a
Right.
speech. I also, and I've spoken about this with some people, including the former president of my club, who I very,
Mm.
very much respect. And I asked her, and she said she also doesn't like it. But I also know that sometimes you have to play by different rules if
Right.
the goal is to win.
Right.
And it for me though, it still just doesn't connect that you could be really over the top and that's going to be what gets people and gets them
Oh yeah.
excited.
Oh yeah.
I personally don't agree, and I'm not trying to convince you otherwise.
Mm.
But given your years of experience,
Mm.
do you have any advice for someone like me who does like to be able to compete? And is there a limit? Is there change in the air? Like what is it that you may see when it comes to being very animated in presentations?
I've actually, from experience, I've been on both sides. I have tried. I remember I was at a area contest, and it was a humorous contest, and I was having I had a speech about getting kicked by a cow in our farm, and landing in a big pile of manure. And a really talented storyteller that was a member of our club coached me on some things that I can do, some little prop little things, little play on words, to do. And I'm doing the animated stuff. I'm doing all these things to trying to get a response. And you know as well as I do from Toastmasters that we are very, very, very good audience members. But sometimes we don't give the speaker the response that they're looking for. Because if you want to
Yes,
be funny, you want the laughs, right? If you're
right.
going to be a motivational speaker, you want people to go, yeah, you want you want that response, like you were talking about, that you brought tears, that you could see that in their eyes, and so there's that. But then on the other side, and of course, I was disqualified. I went past time on that, and
Oh,
I didn't know that that was a experience in itself. And then I had another one, and ironically, I ran into the winner of the area contest because I was second place that year, and she is a lady from the Philippines who had immigrated here, and her speech was about this heartwarming motivational speech about her and her young daughter, I think, at the time, coming to meeting her the husband that a man that she had chosen, and that whole story coming to America. And she was halfway through that story, and I knew there's no way I was going to win this contest because I read the room. That's the thing. That is the reading the room, knowing that I mean, whenever you're in a contest, like say for instance, whether it's club, area, division, the district, whatever like that, if you get lucky enough in the draw to be like the last person, you have an idea. I mean, you know this. I can already tell you from your response. You already have a good idea of how you might make some minute little tweaks and come out on top because I mean, from being on stage, you're going to go out and go like, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to get these responses. But I tell you what, I've had minimal luck doing things like that. I had expectations, and it's so funny, like that we have an engaging humor path. And how many times have I been an evaluator of someone giving an engaging humor speech and it wasn't funny at all? It's like going,
ee.
do you know what path you're in?
Oh my goodness.
And,
Yes, how terrible.
yeah, I know, and little things like that. But I would say like, you can't ever know an audience. I mean, you could have somebody sitting out there to go ha 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 or go or do something or snort or something like that that's going to cause something artificial to happen that might change it, but that takes planning. And we don't always have that opportunity or the blessing or even the environment to do things like that because like saying the contest, we have to meet them where they are, you know?
Hmm.
And I mean, I'm glad you want to compete. I really want to see somebody with your talent and your zeal to get up there and do it. But
You're so kind.
honestly, but hey, I mean, you know as well as I do that there are situations where you're going to go in and you want to do X, Y, and Z, and you might get the why, but you might have to change things up on the point to
Mhm.
get that point across. I mean, just like when you said you were the test speaker or the pattern speaker, you had given it in a way and people had different responses and you had to go in there and reset their expectation. I mean, honestly, the sheer fact that anyone from division down let you do that more than twice, I mean,
I
it's
loved
like
it.
it's like you're gonna do it, you better have
Oh
something
my
different.
God. I loved it so,
Yeah,
so much. I
yeah,
really, really did.
yeah,
And the feedback that I got from it was
yeah,
so incredible as well
mhm,
that I can actually use.
yeah.
But it is very complimentary when you have more than one person who says, as part of their speech, McKell is very difficult to evaluate, right? And
Hey,
what a
hey,
compliment, but I want what they are giving to me. And not
yeah,
everything is equal. Not
no,
everything is equal. So
no,
I was laughing when you said about being chosen last because one of the jokes is given that we're the highest concentration in Toronto of
oh yeah,
Toastmaster
okay,
is it areas, divisions in the world. If you look at us on the map, you'll go,
yeah.
what is that? Like it's incredible,
Oh,
right?
that's
You
crazy.
trip
Well, that's
over
good though.
Toastmasters all the time. It
That's
is.
good. That's a
So
nice
you get
saturation.
to be known quite well. It's hard for growing clubs, as you can imagine. But if you do something, you can get to be known very well. So I'm asked to do a lot of stuff, which is very,
That's
very
nice.
complimentary.
Yeah.
Um, one of the jokes in Division 60 is when we compete, almost always McKell is going to be chosen first to go first. So
That
when we did
sucks.
our
I
last,
can't imagine that. That's
oh
terrible.
my goodness. So we recently had what was it? It wasn't area, it was division. Is that before
Mm.
area?
No, no,
Right?
that's it's Club Area Division District.
Area district. So it was district, yeah. And the we
The
had
big
this
one.
wheel on screen, and
Yeah.
it had everybody's name, and you press the button, and that's how we chose the order.
Yeah, right. That's
And
cute.
so, of course, my name was chosen first, and
Really.
I'm on camera just going like this, and several people are who knew are like, "Oh no!" And the gentleman who was running things, he goes, "McKell, is everything okay?" And I said, "I always get chosen first." Well, then came the second wheel for the second part of the contest. I was chosen first again.
Oh
And
my
it was
gosh.
just, it always seems to happen, except for the last time, and I was chosen second. And, people were like, oh, maybe things
At
will
least you
change.
had that. My gosh.
Right, right.
Oh
But yeah,
gosh. That
competition is great, but it is hard, and you have to have a thick
mhm.
skin.
Yeah.
And there are times that you go think, wow, that wasn't like, how did they place all those people? I didn't quite get it. When
Right.
I came in second, that was a very hard day. I went home and I could not reconcile. And I thought to myself, am I being a brat? Am I being arrogant? Am I? And I didn't think that I was, but it
Yeah.
was just that, you know what? The judges went a different way.
hmm Right.
What can you do?
Right. Yeah.
So there is next year, and next year is
Yes.
take no prisoners.
Yes.
I'm going to
Good
do
for
my
you.
very
That's
best.
fantastic. Yeah. Well, I mean, have you looked at the judging sheet?
Yes.
Yeah. So
Yep.
you can kind of see how everything is broken up. And it's a pretty good scoring system as far as I'm concerned. It's just like I think this year in my division we had one tiebreaker. And it was the
Okay.
first time I had seen that at that level. And that was that area? No, that was at division. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, and I was really, really surprised about that. And we had to bring something else in to make sure that it was clarified. And but then too, like you could have a fantastic speech. It could be the best thing that you think you've ever done, and you blow your time. And it's so it's so hard. It is the hardest thing ever because of that. And the judges can't even tell you. They can't even tell you that. You just know that you're not one or two, or even three,
Right.
depending on how many people competed. Well, dude, we have been talking for a half hour, and it's been
It's been
awesome.
very, very easy. Yeah,
Yes.
it's been very
Yeah.
easy, Tim.
Yeah.
I
Thank you
I
so
thank
much
you.
again. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
thank you. I
Yeah.
really do appreciate the opportunity,
Yeah.
and I hope that everything that I have said tonight is just understood that it's
Yes.
based on my own experience. I am
Yes.
not the all-knowing, but I have been able to have my own successes based on
Yes.
my experiences that I wanted to share.
Yes.
So thank
Yes.
you
And
for
I,
this. It's been great.
of course, and you bless me, and it's been a fantastic experience. So you know what? This is going to be like once we're done here and I get everything downloaded, I'll share the raw data. I'll send you an email that you'll have the link to that. But then
Okay.
also there will be what will be put on the Spotify, what will be put on and Spotify and Apple Podcasts will go at the same time. So I'll
Okay.
load that up sometime. It might come out like tomorrow. So it's going to be the weirdest thing. So, turn on Spotify, maybe it's popping over your radio or something like that. Next thing you know, you hear your voice, which is weird. As even as host, it's strange. I'm like going, my gosh. I
Right?
mean, Joe Rogan, and then you hear my voice. Wow, it's crazy. But then also on my YouTube channel, it'll be out there too. So you'll have access for the raw stuff that you can use. I mean, you can take clips, do whatever you want to, however you want to edit that. I give it to you, and I'm also going to email you different little things where the AI captions and stuff like that have picked that up, and that's something I give to you. And then now you've achieved a different level of immortality just by taking part in my little debacle.
Thank you so much, and congratulations on your DTM. That's
I think it
very, very
was. It's not
impressive.
here yet, but I think I've
It's
got
coming. It's
it.
coming, right? No, that's
Yes,
absolutely great.
yes, yes.
Okay, well, thank you so much for this. I'm going to
Get
get
some
myself
sleep,
on the
dude.
subway,
Yeah.
feed some cats, and then it's time. I
Yeah.
have my first meeting at 4:30 tomorrow morning.
Go get some sleep, dude. Thank you so much.
All the
Great to
best.
see you.
Thank you, Tim. Take
Yeah, God
care.
bless you. All righty.
Bye
Bye-bye.
bye.